All right, good afternoon, everyone. Anyone have any questions on anything? Questions on anything? Questions from chapter one? Questions from day one? Any questions on anything? The sign-in roster, I think about 3 or 4 of you got counted absent on Tuesday. That column that says student ID number, that's there for a reason. So you wrote down, some of y'all wrote down like 930 and put dashes, that's an absent. Some of you didn't put nothing in that column, you know that was an absent. Those columns are there for a reason. Some of you didn't turn in your class contract that was due today by what time? I think 3 o'clock. Yeah, some of them didn't turn that in. Who said what class contract? That means you didn't see the look at the syllabus. That was one of the questions on the test when I was making a mistake. That was one of the quiz questions, I think. Everybody signed up for the case study. Put down which case study they want to do. You should receive that case study no later, what's today? Thursday. No later than noon on Saturday. You'll probably get it tonight or tomorrow, but you'll get it no later than noon on Saturday. Let's talk about methods. Talking about methods. What are methods? What do you think methods are for those that don't have a textbook or for those that haven't read the textbook? What do you think methods are? Whom? Go ahead. Okay, different ways of learning different techniques. Others. What do you think methods are? Again, your answer can't be wrong because we're not taking a test. You're raising your hand. Different ways to accomplish who? Different ways to accomplish a task. Others. What do you think methods are when we're talking about methods?
Methods in sociology.
Don't make a difference. You was asking me a question. That was your answer.
No, that was me asking a question.
Yeah, don't make a difference. Methods in anything.
A way of doing something to accomplish a task.
Okay. What you have? Different strategies. So ain't nobody gave a wrong answer. Others, what you think methods are? Let me find my sheet so I can call off some names. Ms. Hills, where you at? Over here in this corner. What do you think methods are? Different who? Different steps to accomplish? Okay. Ms. Owens, where are you? Right there. What do you think methods are? Strategies? Okay. Ms. Walden. Ms. Walden, what do you think methods are? Okay. Mr. Cunningham, where are you? Okay, that was you. Okay. Mr. Kill, is it Kill Cup? You in here? Nope. I'll get the rest of y'all on the next question. Somebody tell me what the definition is in the textbook. What are we talking about when we talk about methods? What are we talking about? Talking about methods. Methods. Methods are doing research. Methods are how you would do your research. Different ways we can do research. Not just 2 ways, there's multiple ways that you can do research. You in here have never, ever done research, raise your hand. I'm gonna make you out of a liar too. Raise your hand if you've never done research. Oh, everybody done it. Let's see what type we have done. Miss Lisa, because I can't never pronounce your last name right. What type of research you have done? What type is that? Paper. I got paper. I'm doing paper research now. Yeah, what type of research is that? What were you doing? You tell me the type. What were you doing when you saying English research or paper, whatever you're talking about?
Like, I did a research about my country,
What is your country?
Haiti.
Haiti? Okay, how did you do that research?
I have to learn more information. I looked up everything.
Mental?
So things like
You just rambling on. You don't know what you did. Miss Bell, that's you. Okay, what kind of research did you do? Y'all telling me the topics. I want to know how did you do the research?
well, how to look on like our school, like resources that they have on there, like Galileo and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
you can keep going.
they have like papers that other people have written like about climate change, and then Google also has stuff like on different methods to.
Y'all love that word, like. No, I don't like it. Mr. Betts, where are you? Are you here today? What type of research you've done? You didn't raise your hand, so I never did none, so you had to do something. Okay, what type of research is that, though? Yes, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Why don't you ask me that question for? Well, I didn't say it because you don't know. Just say, I don't know, man. Quit asking me that question. Okay, so we can move on. My stomach growling over here. You said something. Madison, where you at? What type of research you have done? I'm trying to make sure I call you by your name that you want to be called by in class. So go ahead.
Today I looked up on Google like news articles about the Supreme Court.
Okay. I think ever dropped. Mr. Herrera, what type of research you have done? Book research. Okay. Ms. Hill, without the S, because I would have pointed out her if I was you. I would have said that's you.
I did research on personality,
Like,
examples of different personalities, and
y'all know she don't have a clue what she's talking about. I don't have a clue because she started going, voice started going down. That's when you know a person don't have a clue what they're talking about. They don't have confidence in what they're talking about.
I did a personality research.
Now she want to yell. Go ahead.
I did a personality research in psychology.
Okay. Probably was wrong. Mr. Jones, where are you? Jones not with us. Miss Jones. She gonna say, huh?
I did research on different careers in healthcare.
Different careers in healthcare. Major's not with us. No one's already talked. Mr. Patel. That's a famous answer right there. Famous answer. Mr. Cameron.
Research on the brain and how it helps the body.
Oh, on the brain. Mr. Evan. Evan not with us. No, that's Evan right there, right? Wasn't you Evan? What's her name, Evan? What's her name? Yes. Miss Felicia? What? I didn't hear you. I couldn't hear you. No, I couldn't hear you, man. Because she started laughing before you said anything. You did hear too. You started. What is her name? You don't know still? Ash, what's his name? Ashley told you what it was. He said you can buy a vowel. He was like, no, I didn't. And as soon as I said that, he said, yes, I did. You still don't know her name, man? How you gonna find out what her name is, man? Thank you. Didn't you say Felicia when I asked you that first time? I know you did. You was close. You was close. You just did research. You can stop talking now. You good to go. Good to go. Miss I haven't called today. Miss Ruiz. COVID cases, okay. So let's see what this book here talk about is research. So what does good sociological research begins with? What does good, I gotta keep this, got to call some names. What does good sociological research begins with? All research begins with the same thing, it really. A question. You're trying to find the answer to a question. That's all research. But good sociological research begins with a puzzle and a question, or a question, either or. Good sociological research begins with a puzzle or a question. You start looking on Google, and I know half of you are looking on, what's that website we tell you don't go to? Yeah, most of you are looking on Wikipedia. The wrong answers on Wikipedia, because anybody can put anything on that. So you have a question, you're trying to find the answer to your question. You don't find the answer to your question, what you do? Continue to look. It might not be in this area, look somewhere else. A good research question must be both precise and answerable. If you can't answer the question, then you don't need to look it up. Somebody come up with a question that you think you cannot come up with an answer to. Other than Ms. Reese Guzman, she'll know this answer to this question. The rest of you, tell me a question that you cannot come up with an answer to. I can come to that 10. Damn, that's an easy answer. I only have 10 fingers. You remember this question, Ms. Reese Guzman? Don't answer it, but do you remember this question? Now, this is the question for the rest of the class. Why does Hawaii have interstates? Why does Hawaii have interstates? Think. Easy question, too. As soon as you know the answer, raise your hand. I stand up. Let me sit down. Other than Ms. Reese Guzman.
Why does it have?
Yeah, that's what I asked you. Yeah. Why does Hawaii have interstates?
I thought maybe it didn't.
Oh, it does. Why is the question. What's your answer, Miss Hill? Miss Hill, you look back here smiling. Yeah, you look back here. I wasn't gonna call on nobody, but you look back. I know the answer. I don't have one. You got one in your pocket? Yes. Why does Hawaii have interstates? Okay. I like that answer. Wrong, but I like it. Somebody else. Why does Hawaii have interstates? What'd you say over here? Somebody mumble over here. For traveling? Okay. There's no reason for Hawaii to have interstates. It don't connect to another state. Interstates connect from one state to another state. Hawaii is sitting out there all by itself. You can't drive from Hawaii to nowhere but in Hawaii. That wasn't no trick question. That's one of them questions that you can't get an answer to, so you don't ask it. You don't even bother to do research there because you're not going to get an answer. Hawaii does not connect to no other state, but yet it have interstates over in Hawaii. I know they do. Yeah. They should call them intrastates instead of interstates. I knew Ms. Guzman knew that answer because we talked about it in the class before. She probably forgotten about it. I know it. Types of research methods. You got the scientific method. Procedure involving the formulation of tests. And scientific method is no more than observing something. In the past, this class used to go out and look at items, look at places, but I don't do that anymore due to this pandemic. I will not put nobody's health in danger. Just go out and observe things. See how people do the things and why they do the things that they do. Just walk around and look at them. Look at them. You can laugh all day long. Well, I do anyway every time I go somewhere. Though. Say a theory. A theory is something that has not been proven yet. We all have theories until they've been proven. Once they become proven, we'll consider them as a fact. But until something is proven, it's considered as a theory. Everybody have theories. Theories is an abstract, systematic model of how some aspect of the world works. Theories and scientific methods. Normally, this chapter here would have been a great chapter for you to use, but we don't do research in this course. And well, not this semester. You won't do a research paper, but you'll still be doing some type of methods when you're doing your case study. Yeah, sure. All right, research methods are standard rules. How you gonna do the things that you're gonna do? Just like baking well, some of y'all can't bake. Just like cooking for those that can cook. But a lot of people y'all cook by scratch. You don't use recipes. You just start throwing stuff in the pot or whatever you're cooking on. But for those that cook by recipes, you go by the order of that recipe. And the same thing you do with research. You have standards and ways that you want to do it. You're gonna always start off with what? What you starting off with in research? A question. And then you're gonna go from there. Two types of methods we use in research. You use quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative and qualitative methods when you're doing research. Quantitative, Q-U-A-N, quantitative. Seek to obtain information about the social world that can be easily converted to a numerical form. That was one of the questions on the test. I don't know whether y'all took, who didn't have math in high school? Question was, write the numera down. I mean, the form. Some of you put down Roman numerals on the test. I'm like, what in the world y'all get this from? If you'd have put that on a regular test, it'd have marked it wrong. It would have marked it wrong on that test too, though. It didn't ask for Roman numeral. It said numera. Qualitative. Qualitative methods. It cannot be easily converted into a number. What is something that cannot be easily converted into a number? First, what's one that's always a number? That's an easy question here now. What is one that's always a number? One is a number. That's one right there. How many? Your age will always be a number. Your year of birth will always be a number. But the month of your birth will not always be a number. It could be a number or a name. If it's a name, you cannot convert that to a number. So you have quantitative and qualitative. We always remember quantity. I'm counting, so I know that's easily converted into a number. Qualitative, I want the best quality out there. That's not easy to convert to a number. So you have quantitative and qualitative methods. Then you have the approaches to research. You have deductive and inductive approach. Thinking back to your math days in high school, what is deductive? Say again? Taken away. Deductive methods. Deductive starts with a theory. Deductive starts with a theory. Deductive method approach starts with a theory. You develop a hypothesis, makes an empirical observation, and you analyze your data. You can always analyze your data no matter what you do. Reason you're analyzing your data, trying to ensure that you're getting the right answer. Normally, when you start research, you already know the answer that you're looking for. Normally. If you don't know the answer to it, that's why you're doing deep research, because you're trying to find the answer. Deductive starts with the theory. Deductive method starts with the theory. Did I put some PowerPoint slides out there in the content folder? Chapter overview, is that out there? Did I do that this semester? Oh, y'all don't know. Y'all didn't even look at the content folder. You did? Is it out there? Okay. Okay. All right. Chapter 1? Okay. Inductive approach. Inductive approach starts with empirical observation. That means you're looking at something. You have some kind of idea in your mind what that research is going to look like in the end. Start with empirical observation, then you work down to a theory. Then you come down to the correlation. What kind of correlation exists between this and that? Inductive starts with empirical observation. You can visualize what you're looking for. You come up with a theory on how you want this to complete, what you think is going to look like in the end. Then you try to determine a correlation between what you're doing. You got your first test in this course next Thursday. The next Thursday, you'll be doing the majority of the talking in this class. If I'm moving the slides too fast, just tell me to stop. You were writing something down, I'll go back to it. You doing counting your pennies over there? No. Go ahead and cook. What can you cook? Oh, Lord. That's a clue right there, you can't cook. First clue, I can cook everything. You can cook a butter pecan cake. But you can cook everything. Mama told me she make butter pecan cakes today. I gotta figure out what that is. Oh, it's too much fun. Break it for me though. Anybody still writing? All right, causality versus correlation. Causality versus correlation. Correlation, they're associated with something. You're trying to change one factor to see what's going to happen in another factor. If I jump up and there's some weight on this thing, that weight should pop up after if I jump off of it. That's the correlation between that. If I put my foot on the gas, that car should go much faster. If I lift my foot up off that gas, that car should slow down. That's the correlation between me putting my foot on that gas and taking my foot off that gas. Causality is the idea that a change in one factor results in a corresponding change in another factor. Both of them going to happen at the same time. If I got a levee over here, I got a rope hanging over here on this, there's a tree over here, and I pull it on my side, that tree should start lifting up off the ground on the other side. It should go at the same identical time. I'm not going to pull, then stop, then the tree will start rising. As soon as I pull, that tree should rise. Causality, we observe changes in both at the same time. Don't sound good. All right, sociologists conduct research. Why? Because they're trying to prove something. Remember when we talked about in chapter 1, the American sociologists, they went out on the streets in Chicago and they were observing people, trying to figure out why people do the things that they do. Same thing happened today in 2022. See, to prove causation, correlation, and the time order are established and alternative explanations are ruled out. Why do we do some of the craziest things that we do? Causality versus correlation. Causality versus correlation. All right, we have two types of variables. We have a dependent variable and an independent variable. Dependent variable and an independent variable. The dependent variable is the outcome that researchers are trying to explain. Outcome that we are trying to explain. Dependent variable is the outcome in which researchers are trying to explain. Independent variable, researchers believe has a causal impact on the have a causal impact on the dependent variable. Independent variable has an impact on that dependent variable. Makes sense, doesn't it? If I'm independent, that means I can stand out on my own. If I'm dependent, that means I need something to help me out. How do you think you're going to use research throughout your college career, or throughout your college tenure, because you ain't going to be in there for a career? Which classes you think you would not do no research in? Cats?
Probably.
What is cats?
Critical academic thinking for success. How to be a good student.
I think I got to do some research in that one now. Okay. Critical academic thinking for what?
For success.
Critical academic thinking for success. The freshman level course.
Right.
Okay. That's one I never heard of it. Hypothesis. Now, what you think about hypotheses and when you started in high school or middle school or wherever you heard of hypothesis? Back then, you was always told hypothesis was an educated guess. In sociology, hypothesis is a proposed relationship between two variables. Hypothesis is a proposed relationship between two variables. When you see that test and that word hypothesis pop up and ask you what's the definition, one of them answers going to be educated guess, and that's what you're going to choose. That system going to mark it wrong because it's asking you what's the definition of hypothesis from a sociological perspective. All right, read that slide out, because I'm tired of talking now. Read that slide. My paper, I forgot names just that fast. That's Adobe.
Operationalization is the process of assigning a precise definition for measuring a concept being examined in a particular study. Before you test your hypothesis, you need to determine why you would expect the hypothesis to be true.
Right, operationalization. It's the process of assigning a precise definition. You have some kind of idea of what's going to come out or what the outcome will be. Similar to educated guess, because you think this is what's going to happen. So on sociology, there's not too much of a difference in it, but the definition, the way they word it. Well, you test your hypothesis, you need to determine why you would expect that to become true. If I lift weights every day, I expect to get muscular. If I lift weights every day for 10 years, I expect to be very muscular. If I lift weights every day for 10 years and stop for 20 years, I expect to be fat because the muscle's going to turn into fat. That is my hypothesis. Good research, you have validity, reliability, and generalizability. Good research to be valid, reliable, and generalizable. Valid means it's real. It's going to work every time for me. Reliable means, yes, it'll work, but that don't mean it's going to be right every time. If I get in my car and I put that car in drive and it starts backing up, I got a problem. I know right then and there I got a problem with my transmission. But it's reliable because I know it's moving. Generalizable means you can put it in any kind of group. It's going to work the same in every group that you put it with. So it should be valid, reliable, and generalizable. Ms. Adams, read that slide.
Evaluate the validity, we ask, does the study measure what it's intended to measure? When we evaluate for reliability, we ask, if you conduct the study again, will you? When we evaluate for generalizability, we ask, will the findings of this study apply to some other population?
Same thing from the previous slide. Validity. Does it work every time? Reliable, do I get the same results every time? And generalizable, can I make it work in a large population? No difference. Reflexivity, mean analyzing and critically considering our own role in it. What kind of role are we playing when we're doing our research? What kind of role do we play? As the individual doing the research, what kind of role do you play in that? Ms. Walden, what's that answer? What was the question? What kind of role do you play in when you're doing research? Ms. Walden, let me find something in the wrong book. Grayson, what's your last name? Yeah, that's you I'm talking to. Yeah, you looking around every time I said it too. I knew that was coming too. What role do you play when you're doing research? I don't know, I'm asking you. Okay. You asking me or telling me that? Okay. You think that's right? What you telling me? 'Cause I think that's wrong. I think that's 100% wrong. What you got, Ms. Adams? Unbiased? What that mean?
Like you can't put your own opinions.
Okay. Ms. Walden, your answer was correct. You don't have confidence in your answers, though.
I don't know what.
You don't have confidence in your answers. Your answer was correct. Yeah. Ms. Adams' answer is correct as well, because you're the one doing the research. If I go to this car lot today, saying this is the car I want to buy today, and this is how much money I'm gonna pay today, and that salesman says I can't go to that lot, I tell you you can keep it. I'm gonna walk away. By the time I get in my car, my phone gonna be ringing. Mr. Brown, I think we can make it for you. Works every time. They have never ever failed me. Because they gotta sell those vehicles. They can't leave them on the lot. So that's research. You go, you look, do your research first, see how much that car costs, and then see, look at it somewhere else, how much it costs somewhere else, and then go to that car that you want and sell it to you at that price. I tell them, don't worry about it. I go around the block and go get it somewhere else. You'll get a phone call before you get down the block. If not, that car wasn't meant for you. Feminist methodology. What was special about the feminist theory? What was special about feminist theory? That was chapter 1 for those who don't remember. This chapter 2. What was special about feminist theory? What was it called? What was feminist theory called? Females, y'all need to remember this. Serious, that's not a joke. This helped you out. What was the feminist theory called? What was the AKA name for feminist theory? Don't have a clue. Just happened on Tuesday. Catch-all theory. Catch-all theory, because it'll work no matter what theory you're trying to do. Feminist theory will work in all of them. That covers all females. So feminist methodology treats women's experience as legitimate. It promotes social science and is conscious of the role of the researcher. Feminist methodology treats women's experience as legitimate. Females, you have a long way to go in order to catch up with the males. The more work you put in, the further behind it seems like you're falling. Feminist methodology treats women's experience as legitimate empirical and theoretical resources. Promotes social science that may bring about policy change to help who? Help women. The good old boy got that club that they stick to no matter what. They might not be on the same team, but they'll stick with themselves before they go back and support a female sometime. That's why we have feminist theory. Females got to learn to stick together. I want to work in a restaurant. I don't care if it's fast food. I don't care what kind of restaurant it is. How many females versus males are there? What's the ratio? on the shift that you've been on before? Yeah? Fast food? Long term, okay. What kind of job are you doing? For the most part, that the females are doing? Serving. That's the lowest paying job, though, isn't it? Yeah, because mainly you're working for tips, right? Yeah. That's why you have more females out there. Who's in the kitchen cooking? Because they're getting paid more. Females, you got to stick together. All right, types of data collection. How do we collect the data that we want to use for our research? We get participation observation. That's where you're out there watching them clowns doing whatever they're doing. You interview people, do surveys, do historical methods, comparative research, content analysis, and experimental methods. Ways of collecting data, participant observation. That's when you're going out there, like I told you, on the streets of Chicago, just watching them how they cross the street. Do they walk across with somebody holding their hand? Do they walk across when the lights say don't walk? Do interviews, go talk to somebody. That's how you get all your historical data, the interviews, go talk to somebody that lived in that era. Survey research, come in the mail, email, some kind of form all the time, throw it straight in the trash, don't even bother to read them. Historical research, historical methods and interviews can go hand in hand. Comparative research, again, just what it says, comparing one product to another product. Content analysis, seeing what's inside this packet compared to what's inside that packet. And experimental methods, kind of like science. You're in that lab doing that experiment. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of data collection. 7 types of data collection. All right, participant observation. Again, I already told you, that's when you take part of it. You watching them do what they're doing. You watch and see why they're doing what they do. Watch the cross guards walk the kids across the street to school or whatever it may be. Interviews, you asking questions. You got that microphone, I got that camera, I got that recorder right there asking questions. Why? So you can go back and listen to it. Make your determination on what they told you. Historical methods, using the old way of doing research, going looking at books. Not too many people go to the library anymore, but looking at books, looking at magazines. Comparative research, you're comparing one thing against another thing, or you could be comparing 2 of the same things just made at different times. But I always tell you new and improved. Is that possible? Seriously, is that possible, new and improved? No, why not? Thank you. If it's new, what are you improving it from? It's either new or improved, because it's improved it from the same old thing. Can't be both, but they suck a lot of people with that. Content analysis, you're looking at what's inside there. You're looking at how many ways you can do that, how many ways you can collect that data. You can collect it by talking, you can collect it by looking at it, collect it by communicating. One way or another, you want to collect that data that you want. And experimental methods, just like I told you, you like on the track, you might be out there watching dog racing. Dog racing is legal. Dog fighting is not. You might be watching the dogs at the track. You might watch the horses at the track. And you're looking at how often that jockey hitting that horse. Or I know how many times you're going to hit it per second or per minute. That's the horse I'm going to bet on right there. The ethics and research. There's 3 things you got to always remember about research and ethics. Remember the ethics. We call them the golden rules. The research must meet codified standards. There's a set of rules, golden rules, that all researchers in sociology and psychology and what's the other field? Can't think of it off the top of my head, but you must follow those standards. Must follow those standards at all times. Those standards stop you from having to go to jail, stop you from getting sued. Researchers must guard against causing physical and emotional and psychological harm to other people or to their subjects. Those subjects are mainly other people. Must have an informed consent. Every time someone come to you that's that you're using as a test subject, make sure they sign that conformed consent. Most people tell you they only have to sign it once at the beginning of the research project. With me, you're gonna sign it every single day. That's gonna cover me. Because I might do something totally different on day 53 that I didn't even do on day 2. That's why I'm getting that signed consent form again, or informed consent form signed again. Because it don't take but a second for you to sign it. Got the informed consent form to be signed. That's where you're getting volunteers to participate in it. Say who? I know you didn't sign this because it's gone. It's old. What's your name, girl? You can't even see. You want my glasses up there? They might be in my pocket. Yeah, no, they up there. Huh? Thank you. You tell me what's on that slide up there. What's on? Read that slide. This your nose and it's not. Read that. Where we all can hear. Not They can't hear you up front. Miss Lynn can't hear you.
The political battle over statistical sample. How we sample the population we are studying can have significant effect on what we end up finding.
That's that slide up there. Census Bureau.
Sampling methods are used as an example in the state. When federal funding and congressional seats are dependent on population size, it matters significantly how accurately the census bureau counts the U.S. population.
Political battle or statistical sampling. Again, I tell you this on Tuesday. You can make stats say whatever you want them to say. But in politics, those stats play a big role. If I got more of my constituents live on this side of town, I'm gonna try to get some of y'all moved over this side. I'm gonna try to split your district up a little bit, put more of you over here. And that's that popular statistical sampling that battle. They're going over right now in the state of Georgia. They didn't agree with the rezoning district. So now it's up at the state. It's all about the dollar bill, though. Everything is about the dollar bill and the race. Questions, chapter 2. Questions concerning chapter 2. Questions concerning chapter 1. Questions concerning your case study project. General questions on anything.
So the feminist methodology is just basically if it doesn't fit in any other group, then it's about women.
That's feminist theory. Feminist theory. Yes.
Okay.
If the females, whatever, looking for can't fit in that, they will always fall into the feminist theory. Catch all. I'll see you next Tuesday. Oh, Lord, I'm sleeping. I'm hungry. Thank you very much. I think they dropped. Drop.
Keisha, you're in my math class, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so she said we was on the wrong Zoom, but she just wanted to switch over to us. That would be better for everybody.
Well, there actually are more students in the Zoom because when I figured it out, I went to the right Zoom and there were more students in the class.
Oh, okay, that's
So you have the slides up, but they look like they're outdated.
Can't be.
Because the chapters are a lot shorter.
Yeah, that's an overview. That's why I know they ain't outdated.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an overview.